Hi everyone, welcome to Noah Radio. I'm Evening Ransom. How we can get pulled into these ongoing arguments and things with the narcissist. There's all kinds of reasons that they do it, that they pull us in. They do it for entertainment. Narcissists do get bored and they do entertain themselves by needling people. They love to upset you. They love to pull you into arguments. They love arguing. They love your pain. They love all of. If I can say the statement that they really need your pain to feel at all comfortable, that's not a safe person to be around. So this message is for people who are still engaged with the narcissist, but know they are a narcissist, totally have their number, know that they're a problematic person. It's a situation you can't get away from. It's either you're still co-parenting underage children, possibly you're working with someone and you can't just up and quit your job, or you have a neighbor maybe and you can't just move away. So it's a situation that's ongoing that you have to continue engaging in, and there's not any getting away. So first of all, let me just say, getting away is for sure the best thing to do. So this is a situation if you can't get away. And, so you're basically just trying to make the best of it until if and when the relationship can just end. So it's not a situation where you're trying to, work things out with this person like that. You're just trying to make the best of it while you still have to be engaged with this person. Okay, and you have to know too that a lot of why they do it, a lot of why they say negative things to you and they gauge you in negative things is because you're reacting to it, because you have a habit, and we all do, especially if you were raised in a narcissistic family. You've got a habit of reacting, and it is a natural instinct to react, to defend yourself. If someone says something that's just really hurtful to you, you feel like you're standing up for yourself by fighting back. But what you have to understand is people, when they're arguing, no one ever convinces anyone through an argument. No one ever changes their mind. This is even when you're not a narcissist. Even normal people don't change their minds in an argument. Don't ever go, oh, you're right, and just change your mind. No, people hold their position because they believe in it. Unless you're a narcissist. If you're a narcissist, you just enjoy upsetting someone, and they can flip-flop what they say believing with the wind. Also, they are easily upset by any real or perceived put down. And to them, it's a put down. To them, it's a major insult to not agree with them. And being right is everything to them. So if you don't agree with them, if you don't just, completely buy everything they're saying hook, line, and sinker, then you are disagreeing with them and you're calling them wrong. And they can't have that. They can't have that. And they'll fight with you like it's life or death. And it's important to understand that this thing about not being wrong goes really deep with them. It goes really, really deep with them. It's why they take on the victim stance. It can only be right if you're the innocent victim, and then that makes them be wrong. So this is why they're so tied to it. It's important to understand that a person suffering from a narcissistic personality disorder can only be happy when they've crushed the other people around them. And so the only thing that makes them feel better about themselves is to make sure that you are miserable also. They can tolerate their own misery if they know they've made you miserable too. And that's really important to really let that sink in, because this can never be changed. This is the way that it will be forever. They completely need their validation to come from the outside. So they need you to be engaged with them, to let them know that they are important and that they matter. If they can't control and dominate and crush other people down, they will never stop trying. If they can't do it, then they feel like they're invisible, like they don't matter. All the while, they'll be accusing you of being the one doing it to him. So the important thing to remember here is that the point for the narcissist is to control you. I mean, that's their whole point. There is no, like I said, they can argue one side of the thing one day and the other side the next day. The point is to get you engaged. So really stopping this whole thing is completely up to you. And so if you can think of it this way, is that they have been put here to teach you a skill that you need in life. No one will provoke you the way that a narcissistic personality disordered person will. The best way to deal with these people is to go no contact. But if you can't do that, how do you win an argument with them? You don't. You can't. You cannot win an argument with them. At least not while you're arguing. The only way to do it is to not do it. To not get engaged. Just to remove yourself completely. Not get involved in reacting at all. Their power lies in their ability to create drama. And their tactic is to try and get you to lose your head. To get emotional and to then get out of your integrity and to behave badly. It'll start becoming about your reaction instead of what they were doing. The way to do this is to not do it, not let that work. Take that away from them. So your best tactic is to not get involved with them except for when absolutely necessary, and not get involved in an argument at all. Basically diffuse the whole thing before it even has a chance to get started. They can be difficult to do this. Conversations with them can escalate quickly. So you're going to have to employ somewhat of a gray rock method with them, where you say only what just has to be said. Any kind of insult or a lie or accusation or attempt to get off the subject or anything like that is completely ignored by you. Just act like you didn't even hear it. And this will be really hard because the things that they say will be so untrue, so completely out of line, so totally disrespectful, so cruel, so mean. So they are master manipulators. They have studied you for a long time. They've studied these skills for a long time. Is what they know how to do is find your triggers and trigger them. And every one of us has different triggers. And this person by now knows yours and knows how to hit you where it hurts. So you just have to pull back and not let it work. If you could take this weapon away from them, you've basically taken all that they have, because they have no logic. They have no real heartfelt emotion about it. They have no point. There's nothing that they're fighting for. They're just trying to upset you. What has to be spoken to them, what has to be spelled out for them, is basic rules of engagement that normal, healthy adults know. Think about some of the arguments and stuff that I used to get in, just because the way that these people act is so shocking. If you don't know what you're dealing with, you do get in over your head before you know it. And so the real benefit that you have is that you know this stuff. You have their number. You know what they're trying to do. You're almost there just knowing that. So you just don't want to play into it. There's nothing for you to fight for. At some point, you will get some distance from this. And what I look at now is I look at how futile all of it was. Just completely wasted energy. So just don't do it. Don't let it work. So the boundaries you have to establish with them are things like no yelling, no insults, no blaming, no interrupting, no accusations, no threats, things like that. And these will be your boundaries. And if they do those things, then you let them know that the consequences are that that you're stopping. You're not going to continue talking with them. And then you must absolutely stop. Once they see you doing this will probably escalate the abuse at first before it gets better. But eventually, you will find yourself reacting differently. You will find yourself not getting so charged up. Believe me, in the beginning, it's going to be really hard to let them just go ahead and say all that they're going to say and not respond to it. When you get by yourself, you might cry, you might do whatever, but just don't do it in front of them. Don't let them see you react at all. They can't see you react at all. Don't yell back at them. Don't cry in front of them. Don't storm off. Don't do anything. Just stop the engagement altogether. Let them know that, when they're ready to stay within the rules, you can continue the conversation. Only if it's an absolutely necessary conversation. What you need to do to break the cycle of abuse is go ahead and have your conversations. They're necessary conversations, only the necessary conversations. State your purpose clear, unemotional, and then establish and keep the boundaries. That's absolutely imperative. Walk away from the conversation if you need to, if you feel that you're getting emotional or if it's getting heated and it's not staying within the boundaries. Do you end the conversation if boundaries are not respected? Do you recognize that other people's actions and emotions are their own responsibility and yours are your responsibility? This is the important thing. No one ever makes you do anything. It's just as ridiculous as it is for them to say, you made me abuse you. So too is it true that, we can't blame them when we acted poorly. That was on us. They said what they said, but it was up to us to decide how to react. Once you get a handle on this and you get a little bit of distance from it, you know who you're dealing with, you know how futile it is to react, it makes it a whole lot easier to stop doing it. And soon, it won't be that long before reactions you're having will change. You won't have the visceral reactions that you are having now. If they're not getting any reaction from you, it won't be any fun for them. That's really the only thing to do. You might have been trained to being prone to this kind of emotionalism with having relationships like this, especially if you were raised in a narcissistic family as well. This is good information for you to have, good exercise for you to take on so that you can, go through life being proud of yourself, because most of us really beat ourselves up for getting frustrated and for acting poorly. That ends up being the worst part. So, even in life, even without the narcissist, it's a well-known fact we can't predict or control what happens to us, and we can't control what other people do, but we can choose to react more positively ourselves. And I have two strategies. Actually, I didn't mention this. This is additional information, a bonus. I didn't mention this in the other episode, but I have two strategies that can work pretty well for stopping the negative spiral. And that is, and this is within your own head. I didn't go into this in the first video that I made. With them, basically, it's just going to be stopping that engagement until you can break free from them completely. If you can stick with this method, you'll lessen the amount of stress and chaos that the narcissist can create in your life. Nothing will eliminate these things completely, of course, until the narcissist is out of your life. In the negative spiral that you go through in your own head, I found that there's a strategy that works pretty well for me. Resolve what you can. If there's anything you can do to move yourself forward, do that. just that decision alone to take action will stop or slow your negative reactions because you'll feel less stuck. You'll feel like you're doing something, you're moving forward, you're taking care of yourself. Okay, the other place is what I call send it down the river. This is when you can't do something about something right away. So a situation comes up, you can't do anything about it, you decide you won't do something about it. You just send it down the river. Anything you aren't going to do something about right now, just send it down the river and then do what you can do about the narcissist, about the situation. And then once you've done all that you can do, then send it down to the river and know that you will deal with whatever it is down in the future. Your reactions are habit, and you can't break that habit with setting some good strategy, a decision to. Removing yourself from this toxic person as much as possible. Only the interactions that absolutely must be had, and only talk about what must be talked about. Once any kind of abusive behaviors starts on their part, end the conversation, know that you are doing what you can do to resolve it on your own. So you're taking steps to take care of yourself. Whatever you can't do, you just sending it down to the river to deal with it later when things have changed, when your kids get to be 18, when you find another job, or whatever it is. If you can employ these tactics, that'll go a long way to giving you back your peaceful life. Thanks a lot, you guys. Alrighty, see you soon. Bye-bye.